Hi, everyone. I just thought I'd give a little shout out in this video to some of the members of the European Parliament that have certainly stepped it up. They have kicked it up a notch. I love the way they speak too. Like anybody that speaks in a bold voice that sounds authoritative, that sounds like they know what they're talking about, and they do. I give them a lot of respect. One of them, a lot of us know who she is Cristan Anderson. She's a German member of European Parliament who criticized Justin Trudeau before she made some headlines with some of the things that she said to him.
That it would have been more appropriate for Mr. Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, to address this House according to Article 144, an article which was specifically designed to debate violations of human rights, democracy, and the rule of law, which is clearly the case with Mr. Trudeau. Then again, a Prime Minister who openly admires the Chinese basic dictatorship, who tramples on fundamental rights by persecuting and criminalizing his own citizens as terrorists just because they dared to stand up to his perverted concept of democracy, should not be allowed to speak in this House at all. Mr. Trudeau, you are a disgrace for any democracy. Please spare us your presence. Thank you.
Ooh, jeez. I mean, she's even tougher than me, and I think I'm a tough little nut. I saw her say something about how when the truckers stood up to fight back against these mandates, that she needed that too, that she was losing hope, and that the truckers gave her hope too. There have been some hearings, some COVID hearings, and Albert Bourla, the CEO, decided not to show up. Now, Albert has had 4 jabs and got COVID. I mean, he tweeted that. So what are you mandating something for where you can still get it and spread it and shed it? I've said this in so many videos now. And as much as the news keeps hammering us and telling people to get the bivalent booster, which now about 3,000 people have become sick from the bivalent booster, but the news will never talk about that. But there have been some recent highlights from the Europeans, and this is my shout out to what the Europeans stood up for, how they spoke, what they said, and the transparency that they are now looking for and asking for. They are part of the government in Europe. They were voted in. The people voted them in. So they have every right to question parts of the government. And as much as parts of the government and the pharmaceutical companies want to smush them down, they are rising up.
I am proposing that this committee declares itself incompetent in getting clarification on the content of the contracts between EU Commission and pharmaceutical companies with regards to the mRNA vaccines in general, and the exchange of text messages between Ursula von der Leyen, President of EU Commission, and Mr. Bourla, CEO of Pfizer in particular. It is quite obvious in today's proceedings.
Mrs. Anderson, we'll put that on the agenda of the
No, I will
coordinators.
raise my point of order now, and according to the rules, you will have to let me continue.
Okay, you continue.
Thank you. It is
not,
quite
not
obvious.
More than a minute, not more than a minute. You don't have to make full statements.
Okay, this committee lacks the authority to get to the bottom of crucial questions. The fact that Mr. Bourla, CEO of Pfizer, had the audacity to refuse to appear in front of this committee to answer question constitutes a gross disregard for the people whose tax money he took, by the way. If we cannot compel a crucial player to appear in front of this committee, then this committee is useless to ensure the peoples of Europe's right to democratic
Mrs. Anderson, now I'm going to
and
cut
finally,
you.
I request the roll call vote on these proposals. Thank you very much.
We will have a discussion at the coordinators, and of course the ID group can go to the Conference of Presidents. Can I remind this committee, this is not an investigating committee.
Exactly.
This is a special committee. And this falls not within, the remits of this committee. So we will have a discussion in the coordinators, and the ID group can
Madam Chair,
take all the initiatives towards the Conference of Presidents. And now I cut you off. This is it, okay?
Okay, we will have to vote on the declaration of incompetency in this committee. That we can do.
Yeah. we will have to look at the coordinators and we will then decide how to proceed on the issue.
So in other words, you refuse to take the vote right now that
Yes,
I just proposed as a point of order.
Well, the thing I love about Christine Anderson is that she showed up to that meeting, and as much as they tried to be so patronizing to her, like, Miss Anderson, you don't need to talk, you don't need to give full sentences. You don't need to give full sentences? What is this commission for? Why are there even time limits? It's not like it's broadcast news where we do very important interviews in 3 minutes, you know, which I also think is stupid, but it's kind of the thing they do there. This is a hearing. You can give people, I don't know, 10 minutes to talk. And I love the way at the end of that, she said, okay, you are refusing to take a vote. And she actually had to assert herself and say, we can do that here. We can take a vote here. Okay. So when you see someone from a top down person trying to come down to tell you what you can do, you better know your rights and assert those rights. And that's what I love about Christine. Don't waffle and try to be polite with these people. These people have no interest in your best interest, which also brings me to another outspoken guy who I love so much, Cristan Tehres. Man, the passion with which he speaks, it is to be admired. Have a look.
When one of my colleagues asked if they tested, in this case, Pfizer, if Pfizer tested, if their medical product is stopping the spread of the virus, we were shocked to find out yesterday that they haven't tested their vaccine to see if it's stopping the spread of the virus. So we are now more than a year after the green certificate, the digital green certificate was imposed in the European Union, and people were forced to be vaccinated with the medical product in order to exercise their basic fundamental rights. And they were told, and we were told, we were voted against the green certificate, but many of our colleagues voted in favor of it because they believe what these companies have said, that if you get vaccinated, you will not be infected and you will not spread the virus. They even ran a campaign and said, get vaccinated in order to keep your grandmother and your parents healthy. And we find out now, after more than a year, that when they requested the special marketing authorization, they haven't tested the vaccine to see if it's stopping the spread of the virus. So I'm asking again, and we are asking again, what are they going to hide? What do they hide exactly? Why aren't they transparent with their medical product? We heard yesterday, I was shocked. Because Pfizer used this opportunity just to do a PR campaign and even lecture us. Why are we asking this and not asking that? Who are they to question us? What kind of questions do we ask? We are elected by the people for the people, not they. And they are supposed to answer all these questions, which they have not.
Very passionate. And I love how he says, we are elected by the people for the people. Who are they to tell us what kind of questions to ask? Which is damn straight. A lot of what sort of brought this attention to this lately, what's happened in Europe, is because of Dutch MEP Roos. And he asked a question of a Pfizer executive directly, to which she gave an answer.
If you don't get vaccinated, you're antisocial. This is what the Dutch Prime Minister and Health Minister told us. You don't get vaccinated just for yourself, but also for others. You do it for all of society. That's what I said. Today, this turned out to be complete nonsense. In a COVID hearing in the European Parliament, one of the Pfizer directors just admitted to me, at the time of introduction, the vaccine had never been tested on stopping the transmission of the virus. This removes the entire legal basis for the COVID passport. The COVID passport that led to massive institutional discrimination as people lost access to essential parts of society. I find this to be shocking, even criminal. Please watch the video until the end.
Voor u, mevrouw Small, heb ik de volgende vraag waar ik een duidelijk antwoord op wil. And I will speak in English so there are no misunderstandings. Was the Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market? If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Regarding the question around, did we know about stopping humanization before it's entered the market? No. We had to really move at the speed of science to really understand what is taking place in the market.
This is scandalous. Millions of people worldwide felt forced to get vaccinated because of the myth that you do it for others. Now this turned out to be a cheap lie. This should be exposed. Please share this video.
I think, though, I mean, on top of that being a huge gaffe for Pfizer, she did sort of misspeak a little bit, because in that clip there, she says, did we know about rates of immunization? No, we didn't. I think she was asked by Roos, did she know about rates of transmission, what the transmission rate was? So she kind of misspoke a little. I think she said immunization instead of transmission. That's what I think. That's what I get from that. And then she went on to say stuff like, oh, it had to move at the speed of science. We had to move at the speed of science. Nobody who's made a vaccine ever has to move at the speed of science. You don't do that. You move at the speed of safety for the general public. And if you've moved too fast, you certainly don't mandate things. Okay, come on. And then she said something about the market. You know, we had to move with the speed of the market. You're a pharmaceutical company, and I understand that you are making money. Pfizer made about $81 billion last year, but you don't move at the speed of the market. Okay, you move at the speed of public safety. And that is her big blunder and her big gaffe. And I am very glad that these European ministers of parliament were able to get that information out. It's very crucial and very important. And we've been absolutely lied to top to bottom. And I hope to see something like this here in Canada, where we hold our authorities and powers that be and powers that have tried to rule over us over these 3 years in a bogus way. I hope they have to answer for it. But do they ever listen? Do they ever answer? Not so far. No, they don't. But time will tell. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to some of my videos. I'm going to try and use YouTube a little bit more, although I keep getting kicked off of there. I love my Rumble channel. I love Rumble because that is a free speech platform to say what you want. And so I'm a big supporter of that. And a lot of heavy hitters are moving over to Rumble. So Rumble has always been very good to me. So that's my little, I put most of my focus there on my Rumble channel. Love to hear what you have to say on Facebook too. I haven't been kicked off of there yet, which is a miracle. But I love to read the comments, and I love to hear from you guys. And so thank you so much for supporting my work. All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.